everybody says yes, right? Because you're showing them something different than what they're getting.
So the big question is, what are the top agents doing to absolutely crush it in real estate, grow their teams, and add more transactions year over year while so many struggle? If you ever thought about this, you're not alone. No one has been able to get the answers until now.
We spent the last few years helping agents sell billions in real estate, rubbing shoulders with top producers, which got us thinking, how can we expose more people to these insights to help raise the standard in the whole real estate industry? We then realized that we could help bridge the gap by getting the secrets from the best of the best so that you can succeed. My name is Andrew Dunn.
And my name is Peter Michael. Welcome to Elite Agent Secrets.
Hey everyone, and welcome to Elite Agent Secrets. On today's episode, we've got Matt Chiacchia. He was part of, should I say, the number one team for the number one RE/MAX office in the world. And he's been in real estate for 12 years. And today he's going to be covering the amazing topic of how to get buyer agreements over Zoom. So Matt, thank you so much for jumping on with us today. It's great to have you. How are you doing?
Thanks for having me. Looking forward to it.
It's going to be great. So how I want to start to give people a little bit of context, which is what I always want to do, is give people a little bit of background. Like, you've been in this 12 years now. I want to know how it started, how you grew up a little bit, and then you're obviously out there crushing it now. You're part of a real big boy team doing amazing stuff. And you've obviously helped evolve and adapt during this COVID chaos to doing business over Zoom and getting buyer agreements over Zoom, which is amazing. So give us a little rundown on kind of how we've got to where we are today.
Sure. You said a little background. So do you want to know my heritage as well?
As much as you want.
Listen, born and raised in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Both parents are Italian. Literally, the joke is they came here on a door. So you have a great background and understanding of work ethic. I jumped into real estate in 2009, one of the hardest years of real estate in Calgary. There was a bubble that burst, essentially. Started with a smaller brokerage, one of the bigger brokerages in Canada. And then after a year, joined up with Brad. Brad and I met in the real estate course. We just knew that something needed to change in the industry. And our first slogan was redefining your real estate experience. So we knew that there needed to be a shift. Brad and I evolved our team over the last kind of 11 years, eventually becoming one of the number one team at the number one RE/MAX office in the world. Then we saw this great experience at EXP, jumped on board at the beginning of 2020, started Double Your Income coaching. And that is Brad and I's true, at our core, what we wanted to always do is help people. And so over 2020, over COVID, I realized that, Zoom is going to be my best asset. I can't meet people face to face. So I looked at Brad and I said, listen, I'm going to start doing buyer's agreements over Zoom. I used to do them at the office. Some weeks I would do 14 buyer agreements in a week. Some days were crazy. It was just back-to-back meetings. But to become more efficient and to evolve with the times, we started using Zoom. So Brad thought I was an idiot and it would never work. And then I started getting literally buyer's agreements over Zoom. So just evolved in real estate as, different parts of our industry have. And Brad and I have changed, Brad, Shane, Mark, we've all changed the way that we kind of operate so that we can figure out different ways of creating income, which is the truth of it all.
Absolutely. I think the adaptation or the evolution that's happened, we've seen some really ingenious shifts over the last couple of years from realtors all over. I think this is one of the better ones, to be frank, because one of the huge differences 2 years prior to basically where we're at right now was not many people used Zoom. Like, it wasn't a thing. I mean, if you looked at the stock price of Zoom today versus what it was pre, 2019, 2018, it's crazy, right? Because all of a sudden everyone had to evolve. Now, what ended up happening is it was not weird anymore because everyone was forced to adapt to be like, hey, jump on Zoom.
Yeah.
That wasn't like, what Zoom? Like, I don't do technology, blah, blah, blah. It's like, listen, I've not forced you. It is the world has evolved to this direction, right? Now, here's one of the things that I think you've obviously clicked onto, and I think the world has now also clicked onto. It's now that we don't need to go back. Like, this is a way forward, right? It's like keeping stuff virtual. It respects your time. It respects mine. Like, yes, we could meet in person. However, we don't have to, we can just get these agreements done over Zoom. It's all sorted, and then we can start the search. We can start doing everything. We start doing the heavy lifting for you. So
totally.
Let's walk through, let's start diving into, the actionable parts of, how agents are going to listen to this and go ahead and get buyer agreements via Zoom.
Sure. The first thing is obviously lead generating. So how are you lead generating is number one. Is it internet leads? Is it cold calling? Is it open houses? That kind of fell off the map. Is it for sale by owners? There's so many different lead generating sources. And the key to it is follow-up, right? Like, all the money is in the follow-up. They say most sales happen after the 7th call or 7th contact. And I would guarantee you most agents call somebody 3 times and give up. And I bet you it's not even that high. And are you contacting them within the first 5 minutes? So you got to get that buyer. Most of this has to do with internet leads. And you got to get that buyer within the first 5 minutes when they're excited, when they're looking at homes. And you've got to look at setting up the appointment. Your whole goal in the phone call is setting up the appointment. So my process is follow up, and then value. Show as much value as possible to get into that appointment. So I'll give you guys the script because it's super easy. After asking a handful of questions and figuring out what they're looking for and, whatever they filled out in the search, what I can do for you is send you daily emails that match exactly what you're looking for. What it's going to send you will have the price, the address, all the photos, everything I get as a realtor. Now, my clients also get, and this is where your value add jumps in, is it foreclosures, or short sales for you guys? Is it off-market listings? Is it new builds? Is it, whatever the value is, that's what you pump it in. Would you be interested in those as well? Everybody says yes, right? Because you're showing them something different than what they're getting. Of course, great. The best next step for us to take is to meet for 10 to 15 minutes. What works best for you? Days, evenings, weekends. You give them 3 options, and there's no other options besides those 3. Days, evenings, weekends. Tell me another time that will work for you. Well, there isn't any. So it's not, hey, what works best for you? Oh, I'm busy. That doesn't work. Days, evenings, weekends. Oh, weekends work really great. Great. Does Saturday 11 a.m. work for you? Perfect. I'm going to send you a Zoom link. I'm going to go through everything that we're going to talk about, and I'm going to send you all the files that we need to discuss. Done. Book it. And then again, the day before, I always call. A couple days before, I send all the documents we need, and that sets up the Zoom. And kind of like what you were talking about, Zoom has become so efficient for us, right? I no longer have to drive to the office to meet this buyer. This buyer doesn't have to drive to my office to meet me. They're at the comfort of their own home, but we're still face to face. I can still get a reaction from you. I can still pause and wait for their time for somebody to answer me, right? So that's the process to getting up to the actual meeting itself.
So Matt, I got a quick question for you before we go any further. When you say sending documents, sending the paperwork, are you also sending them the BAA, basically everything that you're going to cover on the call so they're not surprised? Or how deep do you go, and what do you actually send in addition to that? Because I know there's a little bit of secret sauce there.
For sure. So the one thing I don't send is my presentation, because I'll share screen with them and go through it with them. That's exclusive to our team. But I send them, we have a platinum home purchase plan. I send them that sheet, shows us, how I'm going to find a home for you, which is distinctive to our team. I send them the buyer's guide, which is like pretty much what I'm going to go through in the agreement, but a physical copy for them to actually read through on their own time. Also explains a little bit about the team and, a home inspection, a mortgage, more involved in that stuff. And then I send them the buyer's agreement. Send it to them. Let them read it. Let them understand it. Especially in Canada, it's mandatory that we bring it up. And most people don't, right? They're either too scared, to get that signed, which means that they're losing business left, right, and center. Or I don't know, they're not acting technically lawfully to not bring it up. So
got it.
Either way, I'm truth and transparency, right? Show people.
So you don't hide it. You don't make it weird. You're not like, oh my God, BAA. You tackle it. You send it to them. You let them know what's going on.
Hey, thanks for listening to this episode. Now, before you go, we're giving access to a private training we did where we revealed the top 3 niches to get listings today completely for free. So if you want access, you can go and download that training at eliteagentsecrets.com. We're regularly releasing new trainings, guides and cheat sheets, so make sure to head over to eliteagentsecrets.com and sign up so you don't miss out.